If you need help on how to get into the Pianta Hotel, please take the enclosed warp pipe.
The enclosed warp pipe? So wait, hold on a second.
Yes.
So we open this letter. Bam! Like you immediately warped in there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Ryan butchered the quote, but I'm also like, that sounds like the kind of thing the CDI
Well, no,
games
he just
would have
repurposed
said.
parts of the quote because instead of the enclosed instruction booklet, he said warp pipe. But that would be stupid because you can't warp to a hotel from an instruction booklet.
I thought the magic of reading with your imagination could warp you anywhere, John.
Yeah, but that sounds like the kind of dialogue splicing that all the CDI like YouTube poops would have done. You know,
My favorite thing that I've seen in the past year is Morshu reads the entire Bible, no AI, where someone managed to splice together Morshu, who is the bombs, rope, lamp oil guy from Zelda CDI, to read the entire King James Bible and it's literally spliced all together. It's an 8-hour long video.
That's the same sort of chaotic asshole energy that people use to like convert the entirety of Shrek 2 or B movie into a GIF.
Yeah. Also, I hope you like Stephen King.
Is this a Stephen King book?
Yeah, because of The Shining, it's a
haunted. It's a haunted hotel in the mountains, so it's not really the same kind of thing. But you know,
No, there's a Stephen King book where like something like this happens with like a flat creature.
It doesn't take place in
everything.
Maine, though, so can it really be Stephen King?
Oh, hell, whoa, counter argument. We don't know where Al Delfio geographically is located in relation to the rest of the world.
Look, not all of Stephen King's novels take place in Maine. Just like not
60%
all of them
of them.
star. Yeah, just like he had a specific city that was like his own setting that was shared between a lot of his books called Castle Rock. But I think I don't know if he ever did any books set in that city after Needful Things. But like it was his city, you know. It was the Stephen
Not to mention,
King
I'm pretty sure if you send
horrible
Castle
stuff
Rock
happens.
to some sort of Google translator, it will translate into Maine.
Well, it was
Yeah.
a city in Maine.
Yeah, but I think the point Lewis is saying is that not every Stephen King book is set in Maine, just like not how not all of them are, you know, struggling writers who have a drinking problem. It's just most of the Stephen King books.
But like, you know, I mean, he also does really off the wall stuff sometimes too. Like,
I know this is a completely different game, but I'm reminded of Splatoon 3.
Did you get to that boss fight in Splatoon 3?
I finished the story campaign in Splatoon 3. In fact, that was the only thing I did in Splatoon 3.
Salmon Run, even? Salmon Run's great.
I've only played that a handful of times.
Salmon Run's
with
the
either
best
you
mode
guys.
in the game. But no, there is a I've recorded Splatoon 3 actually. There is a boss fight that just straight up is a reference to this mission in Sunshine, which surprised me considering that Splatoon 3, all things considered, it had plenty of Nintendo references, didn't have many specifically Mario references in it. I think there's like one hidden image of a blooper in Splatoon 1, and that's it, from what I remember.
I'm just surprised, and this is something we've been saying since the first Splatoon game. There was never like any sort of like Sunshine crossover.
Well, that was a fake leak, I should say, very early on in Splatoon 1's life. And whoever did that leak did a very good job because they drew a Mario in the Splatoon art style, and he had the flood on, and his squid form was a blooper that looked like the bloopers from specifically Sunshine, not like a normal Mario blooper.
It had a mustache, I believe.
Yeah,
if I recall.
did. Which is kind of funny considering that that's kind of a that predates the...
That predates Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah, the Odyssey idea. But yeah, honestly, I think for Splatoon's sake, I'm glad it waited a little bit to kind of dig into crossovers with other Nintendo franchises, just so that it had more time to develop its own identity before doing that kind of thing.
These Piantas really are happy to like compliment and flatter Mario.
When he's doing stuff for them, yes.
All the enemies in this game look so weird. Like even the Mario enemies that are in other games, like the Boos here, they just they're off-putting. I don't like it.
Well, that's because they're off-brand versions that have been drawn up by Bowser Jr. with his magic paintbrush.
I still don't buy that. I think they're supposed to be real Mario enemies.
Well, look, they wouldn't get the boos wrong immediately after getting them right in Luigi's Mansion.
I mean, weirder things have happened.
Okay, so
This is a secret level, so we gotta...
I think they have like a regular boo as a statue here too.
Yes, they do. That's the statue you have to jump into to get the actual.
But was that statue a part of the hotel, or did the boos put it there? Considering that it leads you to like a secret warp area.
It's forever will be a mystery.
I mean, it's not a very interesting mystery, regardless. I just wanted to introduce a piece of conversation to the commentary.
Well, I mean, I would assume the boos put it there, but I mean, I suppose it could have been part of the decor. Maybe it was even the presence of that statue that inspired the boo infestation to begin with.
Yeah, maybe it's been their house the whole time, and this guy just took it and built a hotel on it.
Yeah,
Well,
Pinatas
that
would do
is
something like
that is the plot of The Shining, or at least according to the movie. I'm pretty sure the book didn't actually explain anything.
Oh, and they built it on some sort of holy ground, and then they're pissed off, so they...
No, like it was like some ancient Native American burial ground, and it being there was the reason it got so supernatural. I think that was a movie-only edition. I'm pretty sure the book never
Do you guys like it when it's something is just blatantly explained, or do you like the mystery of it?
It depends on the... this is such a cop-out answer, I know, but it depends on the type of story. If it's a, like, psychological, cosmic horror type of dealio, it can depend. You know, sometimes... I think if we're dealing, you know, because we're talking about The Shining and horror and stuff like that, I like having a hint at what it could be, you know, so that you're not just grasping at straws and being like, well, why is there creepy thing X going on? That doesn't seem as satisfying to me. I like when you're left to draw your own conclusions, but you have a piece of paper to draw said conclusions on.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say. Like, my mind jumped directly to Silent Hill, of course, which is never completely explained, but you do get hints that, you know, it was originally a sacred location, and the cult sprang up in response to the supernatural phenomena that were already there. So sometimes you get supernatural stuff that's related to the cult and their god, and sometimes you just get supernatural fuckery that's related to the people who show up there. It's, you know, it's flexible and just underexplained enough. But if you were to dedicate, say, time to thinking about the deep lore, you could construct potential explanations on your own time. And I appreciate that.
That's true in at least the Team Silent games. Later games kind of explain everything, and it's like...
That's unfortunately something that happens to a lot of horror franchises, game and movie, that go on too long.
Well, I mean, the games that are related to the cult that came later did explain a lot of stuff, but those were generally the weaker ones, like Homecoming. I don't think anything is really explained in Silent Hill Downpour. In fact, there's one character who is actually trying to understand what's going on in Silent Hill, but I think his conclusion is that, like, we can't really understand this, but we do kind of have to play by Silent Hill's rules.
It's the same town in every Silent Hill, right? It's
yes.
not like...
Yes.
Well, in Silent Hill Homecoming, I think it's like a neighboring, like, township.
But what I more mean is that, like, Silent Hill 1 definitely happened before Silent Hill 2, even if the worlds aren't necessarily, like, the individual plots aren't super connected. They're just always in the same setting.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of something like Resident Evil, where, like, Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 2, if Leon being there really doesn't change anything, like the, what are they called? The Resident Evil 4 zombies and the Umbrella Corporation are completely uninvolved with each other.
Yeah, the Ganados.
Ganados, that's what they're called.
Well, I mean, Wesker was fucking around trying to get a sample of it, but that's like the only connection that was there.
Yeah, because I'm more because I know very little about Silent Hill, as you know, just because I don't play an awful lot of horror games, period. But it's interesting that to me because it seems like Resident Evil in general does have an overarching plot, even if it twists and turns a lot. From what I can tell, Silent Hill doesn't really do that at all. Like, each game seems to be very standalone.
It does it intermittently, okay? Like, Silent Hill 1, 3, 4, and Homecoming all have connections to the cult. Silent Hill 2 and Downpour are standalone stories that are just about the characters who end up in Silent Hill. Also, Silent Hill Origins is like literally a prequel to Silent Hill 1. But like it's but like the games do make references to each other. The antagonist of Silent Hill 4 was first mentioned in Silent Hill 2 and in like a file. So like
Walter Sullivan's whole story is explained in 2.
Yeah,
in text files, yeah.
It's so like it's not like 2 is completely disconnected, and I think like one of the characters in 4 is like James Sunderland's father. Like they make reference to how James disappeared at some point, but like it's never followed up on. It's just a random connection.
He's busy hanging out with UFOs with Harry Mason.
I hope that the UFO ending to every Silent Hill is the actual canonical one.
Yeah. It would be a happier ending that way. Harry Mason would actually get to live.
Yeah, you know, he'd get to live being probed by aliens every night, you know.
No, the aliens are really chill dudes.
Oh,
They
really?
they just hang out with them.
They nuke Silent Hill for you in one of the endings, I'm pretty sure.
I think that's in 4.
I mean, you know, that's good for the lack of, like, cults, but it turns out that the imaginary Pyramid Head, while that did die in the nuke of Silent Hill, the next town over, Loud Mountain, the radiation poisoning created a real Pyramid Head. So, that's also a problem.
This is me trying to get the clip, but I'm not good enough for it.
Why
Because
in
this
the
mission
hell?
sucks.
Why in the hell?
You need the banana.
Oh, I need the banana.
You need to get a fruit and then backwards jump and then throw the fruit at the apex of the jump, because throwing the fruit sends you backwards. And if you're rubbing against the wall,
This guy's just watching Mario slam against a wall with a banana. Like, the fuck is this guy
it's fine.
doing?
Trust the process.
Look, why in the hell do we
regardless.
need to retrieve a shine sprite that is right next to
These Piantas, John is right that the Piantas are assholes, because they need these shine sprites to live, otherwise there's not enough sunshine for the crops to grow and for people to live and whatnot. And then like some of these guys just have them, like they're selling them. Some guys just hoarding them and want you to do their moving for you. You know, one guy says, "Oh, I'll give you the shine sprite if you do my laundry." It's like, bitch, people are gonna die. Give me these things.
That's what I'm saying, man. They
I mean,
called
like-
me a madman.
There's just one in the middle of the pool. Like, you could just grab it and put it back at the gate.
It's like one of these things where it's just like, oh, you're in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Oh, we do have enough food for you to live, but in order to get it, we're gonna have to make you collect all the mattresses in town for us. It's like, buddy, I'm starving here, please.
You know,
Yeah, and I'm lacking mattresses. Get to work.
It's funny because Bethesda came very close to like letting you do that, because like every Elder Scrolls game has some random ass item that you can collect for no reason. In Morrowind, it was pillows, so you can just steal all the pillows. And
That one thing confused me for ages on this mission the first time I played it. You can open
the door
doors.
with the
Yeah.
fruit.
Yes.
He doesn't have his hands. The thing that I always wondered is why Mario can't just leave the door open. You know, like, why does he have to close it behind him?
Maybe it's one of.
time?
I mean, hotels often have doors that close themselves for security reasons.
Yeah, but they also often have like that little metal thingy that you can use to prop the door
Well, he
open.
can't possibly open. He can't activate that latch while he's got his hands tied.
Yeah, instead we're just gonna have to break into everybody else's room and jump on their bed.
I don't see them trying to get the Shine Sprite.
Those Nokis are clearly just about to get it on, if you know what I mean. And we're just barging in on their
About to get involved in some Noki Noki. If you know what I mean.
I have to like seriously give credit to the janitor who crawls up into the air ducts to mop, because like.
Did you know that the original version of Super Mario Brothers 2 was actually Noki Noki Panic?
Yeah, and there was so much sex. You wouldn't believe.
That's why the player panicked.
I mean, you give compliments to the janitor going through the air ducts to actually, clean shit, but I'm pretty sure it's not as, like... He probably just has, like, a maintenance elevator.
I mean, that is a dedicated employee, is all I'm saying.
I mean,
there aren't any maintenance elevators. Do you see any maintenance elevators? No.
Because he's not an employee. Mario wouldn't have access to it.
No. Well, you would still be able to see the elevator or a door that says employees only.
How do we know this isn't standard, though? Like,
the only way up here is to bounce off the bed through that one hole. It's like
you lost me. That's ridiculous, Lewis.
That's like the only
Just take the maintenance
point.
elevator like everybody else.
Look, even to get into the pool area, Mario had to literally break the ceiling.
Yoshi's touching water. No, Mario, he'll drown.
Well, he did. Well, he's breaking the ceiling. Mario's used to that. He's been doing that since 64.
Halfway through their victory pose, Yoshi screams and dissolves, and his jawbone disappears, and he vows revenge on Mario, and that's how the sequel in the dark future was made.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I don't know what's worse, like watching your body dissolve alive right in front of you, or falling down an endless pit until you die of dehydration or starvation,
Yoshi's thirst for fruit juice was replaced by an even darker hunger.
Oh, that is true. Like, the Yoshi will die of starvation after literally 3 minutes, so, he probably wouldn't be that bad going down the bottomless pit. Oh, I'm sorry, this game's gonna need to be rated 18 plus now, because we have gambling. Sorry. Europe's rules, not mine.
Actually, yeah.
That's why we don't have the game corner anymore.
What is the age rating for Sunshine?
Probably still 3 plus. Although Balatro, with its fake gambling, is rated 18 plus, because, God forbid there be any sort of consistency in this.
Look, I understand the intent behind that kind of legislation. I think it's kind of overkill. Legislation. Because gambling advertisements and gambling in pop culture kind of occupied that same space as cigarette advertisements for a while, where they were deliberately trying to get kids interested. So that when they grew up, they would already be interested, and, they would see gambling at a casino as something adult that they could do to prove their adultness as they grew up.
So, yeah, the thing about that I'm referencing, those, is that Balatro, which is the poker roguelite game, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
There's no actual gambling in that. You're just earning points by playing poker hands, which is something, that there's no necessarily any gambling about it. You're not putting any money on the line or anything like that. It's just a matter of, like, can I make a pair? Can I make a flush? Whatever.
On mobile devices, on mobile marketplaces and stuff, apps that actually gamble by points that you can buy with real money are like a dime a dozen.
Yeah,
like,
no,
literally.
that's the point the creator tried to make, is that there are FIFA games and Peggy games with loot boxes in them. That's actual gambling, but those are rated E+, or 3+, I should say. So, God forbid.
It's the fact that it's poker.
Yeah.
It's a traditional gambling game.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be. You can make anything gambling if you try hard enough.
Look, it doesn't have to be, but 99.9% of the time it is. And, because of that, because the game itself is a gambling game, and because it is one of the things that is so often used as an addendum to actual gambling apps and casino experiences and all of that, it gets hit. It falls under the category of that legislation. And the thing about that kind of legislation is that it always overdoes it, so that because they don't care about false positives. They want to catch everything that qualifies, even if they catch stuff that doesn't. Because honestly, who cares about a video game's feelings?
I'm gonna walk into the casino, try to make a flush 5 or a flush house, and then get my kneecaps broken.
So, my point though is that the laws are deliberately made to catch more than they necessarily need to.
Oh,
so
there's
they
a
catch
platform
as much
level
as
after.
they can.
This is another thing about Sunshine that pisses me off, is you do all this stuff that should just give you the shine, and then they jump you into another one of these things. And so if you
especially considering how finicky flipping those panels are in the casino.
Not only that, you have to get 777 on the slot machine. And turns out if you want to go and do the red coin mission for this, you then have to do all that crap again just to get into the level.
Having said that, I do like the hotel level a lot, just because of how unique it is. I mean, it could be executed better in some areas.
The hotel level I like in concept more than I like in I like it conceptually, and I like the setting. I don't think it's a lot of fun to play, but it's definitely very interesting, and I appreciate that element of it.
Well, I kind of appreciate the way that Sunshine plays with alternative Shine Sprite objectives more than I liked the alternative objectives in Super Mario 64. Because, some of the objectives that you had to do in Super Mario 64 were just, they were too simple for me to find them entertaining on their own merits, but they were also not platforming, so I didn't really see how they fit with Mario. Whereas in Super Mario Sunshine, the alternative objectives most of the time lean farther into platforming and have more interesting puzzle-solving solutions. I should stress that it is mostly in concept that I am giving this compliment, because stuff like the watermelon rolling and whatnot is obviously not very well executed when you get down to it.
Yeah, Sunshine is definitely one of those instances where if they tried to make this game again in the 2020s, it would have been a much different game and probably a much better game. And it would have been, I think, far elevated, because like you said, the ideas in Sunshine are really cool. It's just the lack of knowing how to make these sorts of things that gives it a lot of its rough spots.
So what, we need a sequel?
Yeah, we have a sequel. It's called Galaxy.
No, it's called Odyssey. Odyssey was the first that was what a lot of people were excited for Odyssey for. It was the first game since Sunshine to lean into this more explorative take on things, a lot.
Yeah, but we'll see more of the hotel next time at Super Mario Sunshine.